How gross and weird. Hi everybody and welcome to Mind and More, where we talk about anything that comes to mind and more. When it comes to what's wrong with the characters in Friends, I normally focus on just Ross because there's a lot that's wrong with him. But today I'm going to talk about both Ross and Joey. Both Mr. Pivot and Mr. How You Doing themselves. Ross is a creep and we've talked about that before, but so is Joey. And I hate saying that because I actually like Joey because he has some redeeming qualities unlike Ross. Not only is Ross creepy, but he's a jealous, insecure, and whiny know-it-all. Whereas Joey is sweet, adorably dim-witted, and funny. But unfortunately, he makes looking for women a full-time job and he's always pushing boundaries with the women in his friend group. So let's talk about that today. Let's talk about the two creepiest men in Friends. Specifically, let's discuss some of the creepiest things they said or did over the years. Starting with Joey. Joey Tribbiani is one of the 6 friends that make up the main characters. In the show, he's an actor, and I've always found that funny because Matt LeBlanc was an actor playing an actor. Anyway, he's an actor. Not a super famous one from what we see, but I guess he's successful enough to be able to pay his rent and survive, so that counts for something. The funny thing is, I sometimes forgot he was an actor because his main thing was going after women. Joey was always looking for someone to get with, even in the friend group sometimes. The women always seemed to fall for his antics, but sometimes it got really creepy. One of these moments is when he's looking for a new roommate. He specifically seeks out a female roommate, and as he's doing so, he asks them very weird screening questions. He gives these candidates a few phrases and asks them to complete the phrase with the first word that comes to their minds. The one who gave him the right answer was the one he was going to give the apartment. Can you guess what the phrases were? He gave them pillow and wanted the perfect roommate to finish it with fight. Then he gave them G, and of course wanted them to finish that with string. The final phrase he gave them was doggy, and I'm sure you can figure out the answer he wanted there. How gross and weird. When he does finally get the roommate, can you guess what he did? He tried to take down the shower curtain because he planned to peep on them while they were taking showers. This isn't all of it though. Joey was weird with the girls in his friend group too. There's a moment when he once hugged Rachel and she said, "You didn't even try to unhook my bra this time." So this guy was in the habit of unhooking his friends' bras. How is this even a thing? There's also another moment before Chandler and Monica tell the group that they're dating and only Joey knows about it. He tells Monica right in front of Chandler that if they want him to keep their relationship a secret, she has to, and I quote, "do it with him one time." I know this was probably a joke, but what kind of a joke is that? A guy making jokes about sleeping with his female friend who's already dating one of his friends in front of the friend is a little strange, right? Anyway, later in the show, Joey's friends Ross and Rachel have a baby, a daughter named Emma. On Emma's first birthday, the group records video messages to show Emma when she turns 18. It's a cute idea. Joey being this little girl's uncle, you'd expect him to share a sweet message with her, right? But do you know what he says? In a flirtatious tone, he says, 18, huh? Sir, what? That is your niece who is 30-something years younger than you. Even if that was directed at her friends, that is still incredibly disturbing. Emma's friends would probably be 18 as well, and Joey would be 50-something by then. In a normal world, 50-year-olds should not be interested in teenagers. Joey had more creepy moments, but let's move on to the bane of my existence, Mr. Ross Geller. Let me make it clear, I dislike Ross, not David Schwimmer. I think David Schwimmer's performance was so good that he made me hate Ross. Ross is also one of the 6 friends, and he's an annoying paleontology professor. Unlike Joey, Ross is shown not to have as much game with the ladies. He's also more of a relationship person. But the relationships don't always go well, mostly because Ross is awful. Anyway, let's talk about his creepy moments. There's of course the cousin one. I won't say much about that because I hate talking about it. Basically, Ross, being the disgusting weirdo that he is, once tried to sleep with his own cousin when she'd come to visit him. In another family-related instance, Ross once kissed his sister Monica. This happened in the dark, and Ross thought he was kissing a drunk Rachel. Ugh. There's many layers to this creepiness. First of all, Ross kissed his sister, albeit accidentally, but still. And secondly, when he did this, he thought he was kissing a drunk Rachel. Trying to kiss people while they're drunk is not it. They're incapacitated both in the mind and typically physically too, so that is not the time to try and sneak in a smooch. Anyway, Ross also said some questionable things over the years. There was once a time when he wanted to get Rachel her job back after she got fired, and he realized that the boss's young son liked dinosaurs, and in trying to persuade him to take Rachel back, he said his son could come with him to the museum. But he said it in the creepiest way possible. He said, "How would your son like to come with me to the Museum of Natural History after everyone has left? Just the two of us, and he can touch anything he wants." Excuse me? I'm sure Ross could have found a better way to phrase that. Come on. Ross also once said that he likes 8-year-old boys. Let me explain. Ross had a crush on a pizza delivery girl, and she had her hair cut short. The girl once said that she thought her hair made her look like an 8-year-old boy. She said this while talking to Chandler while Ross was around. Later on, Ross ordered pizzas just so he could talk to her, and when she came to his door, he said to her, "By the way, if it makes you feel any better, I happen to like 8-year-old boys." Completely unprovoked and with zero context. Whatever he was trying to say did not come out right and came out creepy as heck. In another instance, during the famous couch episode where Ross struggles to get his new couch up the stairs and ends up saying his now famous pivot quote, he went to the furniture store with Rachel. While he was at the store, trying to pick out a couch, he said that he wanted a couch that says, "Kids welcome here," but also, "Come here to me." So basically, he was saying he wanted a couch that his kid could sit on, but also that he could make out with girls on. Why was he thinking about these two things at the same time, and also what kind of a couch has that kind of look? While in the same store, Ross made it his business to tell the shopkeeper that he'd slept with Rachel 298 times to be exact. What a creep. Let's stop here. That's it for these two creeps. They said and did a bunch of things that made me stop and think. Can you think of other times they did or said weird stuff?